Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tales of Gaming Addiction, a YouTube channel where we talk about gaming and all that good stuff. Today we are still continuing with the mini LCS show matches. Now we are on to the third place match between Eggy Bread on the blue side and In God's Name We Feed on the red side. And as usual with these elimination matches, we just show you the picks and bans so you know what these teams dislike to play should you face them in any future tournaments. So, coming out from Eggy Bread, they decide to ban Jarvan, Nivea and Xerath. It's a very smart move. Icy Fire has proved very effective in God's Name's semi-final matches with both the Nivea and the Xerath. Though even though they lost, they knew to take it out. And In God's Name take a book from Lee Syndrome, banning out Lodge entirely, taking away the block of Vega, and they're deciding that third pick now. Should they go with the Ari? They've only got a few seconds to take it, and they opt for the Lulu, so Boyloid's going to have... no, it wasn't Boyloid. Either way, the top laner now has been denied the Lulu, so the double AP comp is all gone, so In God's Name might actually have a decent start here. First pick for Eggy Bread is going to be Vi, so looking for a very aggressive play style. Now everyone's just opting in their preferred choices here for In God's Name. Now hovering over for day 0, Novi Shikai insta-locked in Caitlyn. He's been a very strong AD carry, he's always been a strong AD carry. I don't think there's anyone better than Caitlyn really for early, mid and even into late game harassment. Her only weakness is of course that she has no major disengagement on her Yordle Snaptrap and 90 caliber net, but even then she CCs herself briefly when she fires it. So I'm just waiting to see what else goes on here. There's a few seconds to go. Day 0 is going to lock in his Pantheon. And now Dichromate straight away insta-locks Janna, so keeps his strong supports in his bag, and Olympikos is going to take the role of Tristana, all with the new rework and hopefully somewhat better for it. Although a lot of people have been saying her early game aggression has completely disappeared, so she's become quite a passive AD carry in comparison to champions like Twitch or Draven, wanting all that aggression. Probably the worst Draven impression in history. I'm sorry if your ears are offended. Still, Icy Fire is now going to pick up his support, he's going to pick up the Thresh. It's a very strong combination with Caitlyn. She needs some way of escaping in lane, and even with Pantheon as well, it's very potent with Death Sentence Lantern. Proc both as Pantheon will come in for the stamp out. Slimzy though is going to hover over a Swain. It's going to be an interesting mid lane pickup here. It's been very strong on... oh, I was going to say In God's Name, very good on Swain. He does have... there are 3 mid lane champions to pick from here. And obviously Eggy Bread have knocked out his strongest 2 in the Nivea and the Xerath. Now, David Vidi and Lodge, what are they going to pick? Lodge has already lost 2 of his strongest champions, the LeBlanc and Vega. So his options now are severely limited. He is actually opting for the Ari. And Dividi is going to go for the Gnar. Considering Jarvan was banned, there's going to be no Narvan combo. There isn't a lot of combo potential beyond Tristana getting a few explosive shots off and buster shotting as Boyloid comes in with the assault and battery. But it looks like this is going to be the pick now for Eggy Bread. It's going to be Ari and Gnar. It's been a very strong pick. Very strong pick. They're very proud of it. Now over onto In God's Name We Feed. What's IGNWF gonna pick? Currently they are looking for a top laner. They want someone to counter Gnar. So what are they going to pick to counter the Gnar? And instead they actually opt for the Vel'Koz, which is an interesting pickup, going for their own double AP combo. It gets locked in as well, so that is the team lineup for this match. On Eggy Bread, it will be Vi, Janna, Tristana, Ari, and Nar versus Pantheon, Caitlyn, Thresh, Swain, and Vel'Koz. Now this is going to be an interesting game. When we come back, we shall be in the game. Well, we are now in game, so the only thing left to do is jiggle people around, make sure they're all in the right positions, all comfy. Hope it shouldn't be too hard. The only one left to see now is to see where Vel'Koz and Swain are going to go. It is going to be a Swain top versus the Gnar, which is going to be an interesting matchup. I'll have to keep my eye on that. Obviously, Slimzy feels like he has a chance right now. Day0 is going to look to start his blue buff, and in terms of level 1 fights, not a lot appears like it's going to happen. Everyone's just going to play defensively and chill. Of course, losing this match is not the end of the world. I mean, in God's name, did go to a third game versus Team Jason's. So they managed to take one, but lost the other.
30 seconds
now just waiting to see what they plan to do. Niles boomerang off to the side of the screen there, checking the brush. 4 members of In God's Name looking for an opportunity.
Profession! You know, now that I think of it, I've always wanted to be a baker.
And Day0 is just spamming the Pantheon taunt and laugh. Where was I with my David Attenborough impression? Ah yes, and here we see the rare and often misunderstood Mega Vel'Koz. Whilst everyone assumes he's after your mind for his computer system, he is in fact after his own energy source. Fascinating. Anyways, enough of poor impressions of other celebrities who are much more famous than I. This game of League of Legends is now officially underway with the first of the jungle camps being taken down here. Day0 is going to opt to take down his Grunkle, and Vi is going to take away the blue sentinels and then work our way round to red, blue, and generally make a harassment of Swain's day. Icolo though has gone super aggressive against Ari. He's actually pushed up really far. He's getting a nice early CS lead. So I have to wait and see how that carries on further down. Also, Caitlyn is building up a CS lead versus Trist, but Tristana can pick that back as... Oh, got indigestion off a can of Coke. Yeah, well, she can obviously keep this up as the game progresses. In terms of items, nothing really unusual. Everyone's gone for pretty standard stuff. The only difference being is between Thresh and Janna. Janna's opted for wards, she's opted for mana potions and the health biscuits, whilst Thresh wants some wards and vision control to make sure that Vi can't cause any problems. Smart moves, really, smart moves. And so the game continues in a very slow style. In fact, I should sit here and rock in my chair. It's getting really bad and old and squeaky. I have no idea if the microphone is picking this up. So Olympic also gets caught in the hook and the flame. Nobushiko is actually doing a fair bit of damage. Gets Olympicos down nice and low, but the explosive shot proc does equally the amount of damage. So this bot lane still is yet to fix anything off, and Slims is actually doing a very good job against Lodge, playing the Gnar, with David VD trying to hold on with the Ari versus Vel'Koz, and she's starting to get there. Once she gets to levels, things turn to T-12 for Ari. She will eventually get to the point of roaming, though not a smart idea versus a Vel'Koz, because he can wave clear extremely well, as we've already seen Icolo do in his previous matches on the only intelligent creature of the void. I've actually forgotten Vel'Koz's title, that's the worst bit. I love Vel'Koz as a champion. Just for the fact of he's the curiosity of the void. He does stuff for science. Although Lodge takes a lot of damage, Ignite is taken away. Is he going to be first blood? It is! So it's first blood now over for In God's Name. Unfortunately, they're going to also have their death in the mid lane. David HG is going to go down. Dave Biro does come on through, goes aggressive onto Ari. The Javelin just one more. Can he get the speed? Burns the flash for it, but gets the second kill. So he gets the revenge, and Icolo will get the assist credit from Beyond the Grave, which means a nice little bit of extra gold to buy a double ring. So, both junglers now at least up a kill and an assist. Of course, this has been an odd thing in the recent match in League of Legends. Olympicos taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane as well. And one of the things is that the junglers will, especially if they go for a nice early game, will lose CS lead over their opposing jungler for a short while. It tends to upset the gold balance just a tiny bit. Speaking of gold, let's give that a quick look, and everyone's still equal. It's only a few hundred gold in favour of In God's Name, but that's only from the first blood. Although DayZero does find Boyloid off in his own jungle, so he's getting some time on what he's been up to. And Vel'Koz is also doing a very good job of zoning out this Ares, using the Void Rift and Tectonic Disruption to great effect. Lodge is now nearly level 6. The top laners, of course, will be level 6 very shortly, as will the mid laners, whilst the Cura lanes are still a happy level 4. But you won't see any madness come out yet from Tristana, and if we do, I will be absolutely amazed. Although level 6 in this bot lane will be a key factor in just a moment, because of Vel'Koz's life form disintegration ray versus Ari with Foxfire Spirit Rush and her Orb of Distortion all going off at once. Is the true damage that Vel'Koz provides going to be enough? Well, I'll say though, in this top lane, Smitty is actually doing a very good job against the Gnar. He's a tiny bit ahead in CS, he's actually doing really well in items, actually forces Gnar to prioritise MR. The Nova Shikai does get caught out, does a very smart job of juking back, eating the Lantern, and Icy Fire is also doing a nice job of the play. Goes in for the hook just to try and make someone within tower range to try and bait them underneath, but it is not to be. Mine is going to be forced out of lane. Also does mean that DayZero can have a nice and easy time, and a very smart play by Nova Shikai though to use the 90 carbon net to get away. DayZero does find Boyloid off in the river, so Icolo had plenty of warning and has hit level 6 and has also used his life form disintegration ray. So the aggression has started in that mid lane. This is the bit we're all fearing right now. Pings coming out from Eggy Bread off in the top lane. They know that Swain was on the move, and Vi also goes around to the side as opposed to going up to the river. Though Lodge manages to knock Slimsy into the wall as Mega Gnar. Can he hang on for a little bit longer? It just manages to hang on long enough, getting that last second speed boost. Boyloid does come through to clear the lane, but sadly Swain's ultimate not enough to just morph and devour Gnar. Although the day he does finally get around to that point is there. I feel sorry for poor Gnar because he's going to be absolutely devoured by ravens. Speaking of the devils, and there they shall appear and start consuming everybody around him. Just give Swain a little bit of extra life, which he so desires. Still, meanwhile, with all the aggression coming down bot lane, Caitlyn is really starting to push out ahead now against Tristana. Whereas no one's got a kill or an assist, it's really the CS that's taking this. And there is a massive CS lead in that bottom lane. It is now 64, can't add up because you're a nitwit, to 45. So there was a good 20 CS lead, even with Tristana's newly reworked kit. Caitlyn can quite happily keep on pushing the lanes and getting the farm. Over in the mid lane, it's a similar story with a 22 CS lead of Vel'Koz to Ari. And this is now going to be In God's Name's plan, I suppose. Just farm out the lanes and hang off there a little bit longer. Olympicos does get caught in the order snapshot. The Lantern does come out from Fiery Ice on Thresh. And now the junglers are making their round to the bottom lane as everybody now resets for the second run. Lodge is getting ready to Mega Gnar up. He's got very low health, so if DayZero was in the area for a gank, it might actually be successful. Mid lane though, it is going to be Vel'Koz and Ari still duking it out, and Ari's actually having a hard time trying to overcome Vel'Koz's damage, even opting not to go down to Chalice of Harmony for that magic resist, which is what she's going to desperately need. As soon unfortunately enough. As we go, the life form disintegration where he comes through, forces to Foxfire, and Ari will go back in, but there's not enough damage. Vel'Koz's Chalice of Harmony actually providing just that tiny amount of magic resist, but it's enough to keep the chases. Slimzy also goes aggressive onto Lodge, it actually carries on the chase through the lane. And even the directed camera thinks that there might have been a chance there, but no, Lodge manages to throw his Bodhi Boomerang and secure safety, whereas Ari now looks for Swain in the jungle, and Swain, if he's not careful, will be caught here. Although Boyloid coming in from behind onto Nobu Shikai, and Icy Fires does manage to hold Olympicos at base. Slimzy is going to go down to DVD in the jungle, but it's going to be a 1-for-0 trade here as the teleport comes out from Lodge. Now it's 4 members of Eggy Bread versus 2 members of In God's Name in that bottom lane. They did a very good job to hold out. Unfortunately, they did lose their AD carry, and now Eggy Bread are going to do Dragon with very little contest, since the jungler is going to be preoccupied, although the tower does go down in the mid lane as Vel'Koz starts his mega push routine. He's going to start laying down the damage and the hurts. It's actually doing a very good job, if I'm honest. So, currently in the first 10 minutes, we've already had 5 kills, 3-2 in favour of Eggy Bread, but the gold lead is much more in favour of In God's Name, who have had a strong CS lead in all the lanes up to this point. Bot lane starting to slip a bit now with Caitlyn's death earlier, though Caitlyn will come back incredibly strong and be able to push incredibly hard here. Olympicos even forced out of lane by just Day Zero's presence being spotted out by wards. And generally, yeah, that's kind of how this game has shaped up so far. It's really the team fights that have allowed Eggy Bread to come through in very good coordination, something that In God's Name is severely lacking at the minute, although who knows, come the mid to late game team fights, I have a sneaky suspicion In God's Name will do a lot better, because then everything falls into Vel'Koz's favour in terms of people grouping and stacking and becoming nice big juicy targets for life form disintegration ray. All that true damage burn. So, looking at items, Ari's actually opted for double Forbidden Idol. So Chelsea wants to finish off that Marilla Nobicon, but also have the mana regen. Starting to struggle a fair bit. Vel'Koz has gone for the fully built Athenes, although he is forced to burn his flash. He is charmed another tower, and Boyloid just Vault Breakers away. Not feeling brave. He does have his ult and he does have plenty of mana as well, so very smart play there from Boyloid not to get caught. And now everyone's chilling. Chilling in the groove. Although the new reworked Tristan is actually doing a fair bit of damage to the tower. Now that she's come back, she's only got the BO sword and the pickaxe, and she's building the Infinity Edge. But she's certainly showing how strong she can but take towers down towards the mid game with the procs from Expletive Shot. It was even enough to force Nobu Shikai away from the minion wave, since there is splash damage and it does start to hurt if you're not too aware of it. That being said though, Vel'Koz's Void Rifts are doing plenty of damage and happily clearing out waves. Docromate is going to clear out the wards in the river and give Vi a slightly easier time, because Nobu Shikai has got the Explosive Shot on, and Docromate isn't going to be enough. But the Grand Skyfall there might be enough. Unfortunately there is no Nobu Shikai to follow up here, but they have got the Sun, the Exhaust, the Ace in the Hole comes through. Docromate takes a lot of damage, it's forced to pop them on too. Gets caught in the Thresh Hooks, Docromate is going to go down. Yes, Thresh will consume that soul. Olympicos now gets caught out, and Nobu Shikai continues to chase, doesn't quite get it. They get Buster shots it away, and Olympicos actually manages to get a kill as well. Ari, meanwhile, whilst all that was going on, roams up to the top lane and takes out Slimzy. So now the kill lead stays in favour of Eggy Bread, but the gold lead stays in favour of In God's Name. But the towers now are also going to start levelling up, as Boyloid, DVD, and their Lodge will take it up, but then Team In God's Name very quick to reply and pick up that turret of their own. And now the gold lead is back to that 700 gold difference. So it's really First Blood and the CS to beat. Meanwhile, Alcolo is trying to understand why the Scuttle Crab is so fast for his size, and the only way Vel'Koz can really do that is by destroying it. So that's how you do things in science. You ask how does it work, and then you blow it up. You don't really blow it up, you rip it to pieces. And then you understand how the pieces work. And then you rip the pieces even smaller, and smaller, and smaller, and smaller, and then you find the theory of everything. So, the game is back into the farming room. Gold still has yet to have changed. There's been no major swing in power as of yet, though we might see it in soon enough with dragon number 2 coming up. First dragon is of course on the side of Eggy Bread. And having a fun time of it. Needs all that extra damage and AP boost just to start churning away. The Talon is going to bring the tower lead now to equal. Also brings the gold lead to near enough equals, only a couple of hundred gold now, which is pretty much his pure CS lead here. As soon as he takes a lot of damage from Loz, does ult up and actually lays down lots of damage and actually keeps himself alive as well, so he's doing a very good job versus not on the Sway. He's doing very, very well indeed. Meanwhile, they're looking at everybody else across the rest of the lanes whilst Day Zero gets pushed back, and we'll start with Day Zero. In comparison to Vi, he's actually a tiny bit ahead. Just look at the gold difference, yeah. But it's only by 100 and a bit gold, as you can see. And it's really just because he's got boosted home guard, whereas Vi has opted for the double potions, as Slimsy does go down to Crane's transformed state. And now we see Vel'Koz off to the side here. Dropping his Q, no Shikai though, does get caught out. He is going to burn away from the Ignite, and Boiloy is actually going to carry on through. Day Zero is going to get knocked back by the Monsoon. Icolo is looking for an opportunity though, he's not going to get it. Boiloy because continue to chase, and Boiloy gets himself a double kill. Very, very nicely done. Vel'Koz hanging off to the side, who wants to find an advantage. But unfortunately it's going to be Eggy Bread yet again getting a dragon. They're doing very well in these team fights, in these enclosed spaces, which is where Vel'Koz excels. But sadly it's not screen. Tower destruction now for Team Eggy Bread. And Vel'Koz is going to get caught out here. Last one, disintegration ray does come through. He does manage to pick off Ari, but he does give his life over to Gnar. He obviously cannot resist the cuteness of the Yordles. Meanwhile though, Lodge tries to go aggressive onto Swain, completely forgetting that Nevermore is quite painful if you sit under it for too long. And very much like the Raven, you really start to hurt. You'll start questioning its purpose and its reasoning to be. Are you Raven? Still, all things said and done, Lodge has actually managed to stun Pantheon of all people right under the tower. And everyone now is just going to chill and relax and breathe. Which is all good, because I need to breathe as well. So looking at the rest of the items, let's start over on Eggy Bread. Gnar's got himself a Spirit Resist, so he's got lots of magic resist now, as well as any opportunities that the Doran's Blade now gives him. He gets a nice little bonus to his health. The playing opponent, Swain, on the other hand, has gone into the Rod of Ages and starting to build up the stacks, and he's still got hold of his double doors. He's looking to build up the Hoarding guys into the Entries Torment. Elsewhere across the rift, we've already been over the junglers, although Vi's now got herself the Spectre's Cowl, so that's going to be a Spirit Visage for her, I assume. Vel'Koz has gone for the Chalice of Harmony, and he's also picked himself up a Rod of Ages. So he's looking to stack that health, mana, and his ability power as the game progresses. And at this point, he is actually going to get the full stacks from it. Looking across to Ari now, it's got the Melanon Dichromate, does get caught in the Thresh play. Unfortunately, not quite enough. The Monsoon does get popped though, as Boiloy comes on through. This is a subtle battery onto Nova Shikai, Nobushika needs to get away, unfortunately can't quite make it. The Grand Skyfall comes on through, but a very nice life from disintegration ray will mean the end of Daikumei. Boyloid also goes down, Meganar comes on through onto Lodge. Now this is a team fight that, in God's name, can actually win here. Olympikos does have the necessary range now at level 10 to poke away. He's now on par with Caleb. Although it's not going to stop both Nobushika and Okolo trying to poke down Lodge and get his Meganar form to kill Na when he shrinks back. I think, well, I suppose de-evolves or de-angers. That's just really misery, isn't it? The opposite to anger. Feel that rage and misery. So, with that team fight, it has brought In God's Name back in. The goal lead is still equal, but Eggy Bread have managed to pick up a couple of kills over In God's Name. The towers are equal, and it's really that first blood from In God's Name earlier that's kept them in this. The only downside now is the fact that it is double dragons for Eggy Bread, and they could go for triple when he respawns soon enough. Although Lodge is the first to take a lot of tower damage, it is going to be enough. He does go down, Nobushika will pick up the kill. That's his second kill of the game. They need to focus Tristana as soon as they see her, though. She's currently 3 kills with the Infinity Edge and average play, so she hopes gold is just going to keep on building. One more expensive item, very slightly played by Nobushika, uses 90 caliber net to get back and even keep the stun going. Is going to be IGNWF that picks it up. So the gold lead, the kill lead now is equal, and In God's Name have taken the gold lead edge, if only by 1,500. Now looking at everybody else in these lanes, is a straight up push here from In God's Name. Nobushika is all the way back in base, looking to buy those many and assorted items. Goes straight into Aphrodite Blade and Vampiric Scepter. So I was looking to build into the Blade of the Rune King and Static Shiv, which works so well on Caitlyn, especially at this point in the game. Although a little bit of Unpent wouldn't actually hurt, but actually punish all the unbuilt armor items on the Eggy Bread side. Speaking of Eggy Bread, we also look at Tristana's build. She's got the Infinity Edge, the same as Caitlyn, also got Berserker Groups, although she's completed her Zeal and has got the Average Blade, so she'll be getting the Static Shift soon enough. And a final look at the supports. Both got the Talisman of Ascension, both got a plain Ruby Stone, although it is an interesting change here, as Thresh has got Double Cloth and Janna has gone for the Kilda Gem and the Null Magic Mantle to start building up the necessary AoE magic resistant armor items that would be the Aegis of the Legion. So, it's now all quiet once again on the Rift. In God's Name have control of the Scuttle Crab, so they have their own war division of the Dragon Pit, but Eggy Bread also have one cheekily placed right at the back of the Dragon's Wall. He's not very happy about it being in his home, threatens everyone to back away and come back once they have an appointment. Although In God's Name aren't going to let that happen, and we could see the fight break out here over the Dragon. Dragon goes low, they just need to make sure that Boyloid can't get in for a snap fight still. It is not going to be the case, it's going to be a smite already for In God's Name, so they get the attack and magic resist, but unfortunately they do lose Swain for it. They're also going to lose Day 0, so that's a 2 for nothing. They do manage to pick up 1, but that's now a 3-for-1 trade here, and they didn't really pick up much of it. All they ever picked up was the AD carry, and Boyloid also goes low. Icolo is forced out lane, he's also forced to defend the bot lane tower, so a very good counter push here from Eggy Bread to In God's Name's aggression and hubris, and thinking they could take away the dragon without too much contention. But In God's Name don't manage to pick up their first dragon of the game, so it's a little bit more advantage than they would like to have, and they could have had earlier with some vision control. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tristana starts chiseling away the tower. That already gets down to half health. This Pantheon that has only just respawned and ran in. So Tristana is actually getting a little bit too strong, right? I think her rework is a little bit too harsh for everybody else. Tristana was fine the way she was. Still, looking at the rest of the scoreboard, is 3 towers to 2 in favour of Eggy Bread. They have got the gold lead back again of that 1,000 gold with those 3 kills giving them a lead as well. And item wise, no one's finished anything new. The Enemy's Torment comes out onto Swain. I think it's on Holy Grail for Vel'Koz. Rabadon's Death Cap for Ari. Vi's looking to finish off her Trinity Force. I was going to say Triforce. No, Triforce was also be correct, but it'd be the wrong game series to use that term here. Slimsy and Mott have a little bit of a duke out, and Icy Fires hopes to collect a soul, even if it is Slimsy's. The Thresh gets not. The life of disintegration ray comes through onto Olympicos. It is going to be the ace in the hole that picks it up, so there's no more Tristana in this fight. So Eagle's name could have an advantage here. Unfortunately, they do lose their AD carry as well. So AD for AD there, but also AD for the Lifeform Disintegration Ray. But it's already on a fairly low cooldown as it is, as you can see on the side of your screen there. It's already lost 25% of its time. With Icolo continuing the chase and the aggression, goes for the rift for the Rupture Tectonics, doesn't quite get it in the Void Rift, also doesn't quite catch Gnar. So looking at the rest of the board, AD carry wise, nothing new has finished as of yet, although Tristan is looking to build herself the Last Whisper, and Caitlyn is going to go straight into a Bloodthirster, and the supports still haven't bought anything new, although Thresh is looking to build up a Randall's Omen with that Warden now, so he looks to survive right to the end with all the auto attacks. So that way he gets all the souls that he ever needs to harvest. Just going to recall and chillax for the next 5 minutes or so. Just let the game push on and tick away. So that is that really. There's not a lot more going on these lanes. Currently 14 kills to 11 in favour of Eggy Bread. Tower's still in their favour. The gold lead is still in their favour with 1,300 gold. CS wise, in God's name, we've got 3 of their lanes ahead, 4 if you want to include the supports, but it's the AD carries just slacking behind a bit. Novishikai's numerous deaths, although she has got kills alongside them, has meant that her CS has dipped off quite significantly at this point in comparison to Tristana. Although Tristana by this point will have a massive farming advantage over Caitlyn with the fact that her explosive shot will deal a good deal of splash damage. And A0 spots Boyloid coming through, trying to steal his red buff. Slimsy and Novashikai also come around just to try and counter it and make sure it doesn't happen. The smite will make sure that saves to Novashikai. Although Boyloid is going to get caught here. Lodge comes on through with the Mega Gnar, throws the bottom, so if there is a team fight, it's not going to be in the best interest of Eggy Bread, as Gnar will not have any strength for the fight. He'll be essentially a very weak ADC. And even then, souls of the defeated keep everybody on in God's name happy and well. On that really, not a lot going on. My chair is still squeaking quite badly. Doesn't quite get picked up on the microphone, but I can tell you right now, it's very squeaky. In fact, if I talk, you can probably hear it underneath it. It's really bad. And then again, this chair's been faithful. It's been a very good and faithful chair. It's been with me for about 6 years or so, so it's done well. It's seen some pain. And it's seen some things that no people can unsee. So, looking at the items, looking at disgusting thoughts, Gnar looking actually to build up his random zone as well. Pantheon has got his, Thresh is going to build his fairly soon. Major items anywhere else? Not really. Chris has now finally picked up her Last Whisper. And Boots of Mobility for Thresh and Boots of Swiftness for Janna. Although Icy Fires is caught out here, He is forced to burn his flash though, but Olympikos isn't going to call the end there. He continues to chase, and Talisman of Ascension proving very handy in this regard. Lodge now also going into Mega Gnar form. Dragon is up. And this is going to be Dragon number 3 for Eggy Bread, but the 4th Dragon overall this game. But so much presence. Icolo was also a major focus target. The Ignite is taken away. Not enough though. He does go down to pretty much a death state and will be forced to recall, though he is hanging around to the side. Does get called down by the Buster Shot with Tristana, so it's a 3 for nothing here for Eggy Bread, a 4 for nothing. They can't get the ace because Thresh died earlier, and now Eggy Bread are actually starting to walk all over Ingol's name. They're actually doing really well. So it's not going to be a case of Ingol's name ordering eggs over easy. These are going to be quite tough eggs and need to be scrambled a bit, I suspect. Enough with the egg puns though, as the inhibitor goes down. So that's a nice pickup here for Team Eggy Bread. Also managed to pick up a 6th turret of the game, so they managed to push the bot lane all the way right past the inhibitor. The mid lane is all the way up to the inhib tower. So top lane is going to be the next point of focus, I suspect, as it still needs a little bit of pushing down the lane. And we'll also see what items they pick up as well off that 4-0 teamfight stomp. It looks like not much. Vi's got a Banshee's Veil. Ari's got a Nudity Bard Rod, looking to go into... there we go. The Seeker's Arm Guard, so it's going to be Zhonya's Hourglass. Triss now looking to build up her own Bloodthirster to try and counter Caitlyn's, which has come considerably sooner, but that last Whisper is starting to prove a lot more potent. Now gets the Sunfire Cape, still hangs on to that Randallwinds for another day. So obviously playing Frozen Heart over a Randallwinds, but Randallwinds works a lot better as Day Zero gets charmed right underneath the tower, and 4 members of Eggy Bread can clean up the fight nice and quick. The top barrier comes through, no Shikai is going to be caught out. It's going to be another kill here. Slimzy is also going to be the next focus target. It does get caught into the Monsoon. Nightfall Disintegration Ray comes through. Dichromate does take a big chunk of it. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Vel'Koz is stupidly strong in the late game team fights. Gentleman Paul Reward now sits out on the lane just to keep everybody alive and safe. Olympikos actually continues chiseling away at the tower. Doesn't quite take it out, but they are losing top lane to Ingol's name's massive minion weapon. It's actually starting to do a very good job of pushing through. Still, Lodge jumps right on through and forces Icolo right up against the inhibitor by going to Mega Gnar form, and that's an unofficial ace by my count. As 2 inhibitors get destroyed, so this is a very quick game, comes up to the 30-minute mark. And, well, there's not much left to say. The Eggy Bread are going to take game 1 of a best of 3. Lodge also takes a lot of damage there to Pantheon. Unfortunately, Vi's going to come through and make sure that 2 more kills are secured. So, Eggy Bread now 25 to 11, 56.8 to 45.6. There isn't much more to say. This is over for In God's Name. So GG, well played to Eggy Bread. Even under the tower, they finally lose by. So, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to like, favourite, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. And we'll see you next time.